we can minimize the Hamiltonian to get the Hong-Shang equation is like the Schrödinger equations. And this is the summary of my calculation method. Here we usually for the calculation method is ab initio or first principle method. The name of ab initio and the first principle method come from we only use atomic number and arrangement as input of the calculation. Nevertheless, we have some kind of approximation like local density approximation, generalized weight approximation. On the even we use ultra soft shear potential and two potentials without losing the generality. And this is algorithm of self-constant electronic structure EFT calculations. And let me explain briefly here. And as I mentioned, in the first principle calculation, we can use atomic number and configurations as input, and we can set up effective potential to make Hamiltonians. And using this Hamiltonian, you can solve Hong-Shang equations to get the electronic densities. Using the obtained electronic density, we can set up new potentials. We compare this newly obtained potential with first start the effective potential, and it converts. We go to next step to find the force between the ions. And if the set from the first criteria is satisfied within some numbers, we can get the output like total energy and band structure and even STM simulation. If some condition is not satisfied, we can get the calculation to get the converted potential and converted force, etc. And using this kind of calculation method, I can handle nowadays usually materiallar geterostructures. And now you can see a level block, and now when you're young and you play with such a block, and you can stack and vertically or laterally to make such a various material structures. And here is the list of some of list of my work related to two-dimensional material like graphene, oronitride, and transition metal like chalcodonite, and one-dimensional material like carbon nanotubes. And for the graphenes, then we started some bending engineering and functionalization and doping control and even atomic interpolation within the graphene and HBN heterostructures. And for the E and the oronitride, we calculate the defect formation and the growth mechanism, and here intermediate situation too. And today I mainly focus on the 2D and 3D heterostructure, finally including some the remote taxes. And in the introductions, I was supposed to give some the graphene things, but here I didn't put much on the graphene material things. And I mainly focus on the research work related to two-dimensional materials. This is a topic I may handle today, but not all of them. The first is the formula level pinning related to 2D and 3D metal system, and also the other system is 2D, 3D semiconductor, and finally I mentioned remote taxi is was done in collaboration with the experimental group, and I also briefly mentioned some of the experimental the work to explain some of the mechanism of experiments. And the quantum mixed dimensional heterostructures, now you can see those stack up between two types of dimensional things. And now today I focus on 2D, 3D, but also several kinds of heterostructures, 2D, 0D, and 2D, 1D, and like you can see 2D, 2D things, lateral thing and vertical things. And why I focus on 2D, 3D heterostructures, now you can see here, now you can see two types of heterostructures, and metal semiconductor heterostructure and semiconductor heterostructures. And usually metal and semiconductor heterostructures show the ohmic or Schottky barrier in contact heights, and semiconductor and semiconductor show the PN junction, heterojunction. And this is the first topic which I present today, and it's related to induction of Fermi-level pinning. Let me tell you what is the Fermi-level pinning. In compound semiconductors, and usually interface layer between two materials introduce state, gap states in the semiconductor gap regions in the Fermi level at fixed positions. That the level doesn't move. So which means the pinning of Fermi levels. And here at the interface of between the metal and TMD here, such as molybdenum and strongly impacted by Fermi level pinning, very close to conduction band, which means it gives anti-Schottky barrier height in respect of the metal used in these interfaces. A previous study by another group explained why this Fermi level pinning occurs, and they mentioned two reasons. Is that one is metal work function modification due to charge distribution at the interfaces, and the other is production of gap state mainly due to the presence of only orbital characters. And to prevent the Fermi level pinning for some applications, experimentalists try to put some tunneling barrier between two materials like boron, magnesium oxide and boron nitride, also titanium oxide thin film. And rather than doing that, I try to suggest why we put some the atomic species between two materials, and such as the sulfur oxide, nitrogen, fluorine, even the hydrogen. This kind of atomic species is pretty rare in the experimental conditions. And method velocity. And now you can see this is the clean case, and only so you can find the molybdenum, and the other, the right hand side show the molybdenum located on the atom capacited on the surfaces. And due to the presence of capaciting atoms, the direct interaction between two materials is much reduced, as you can expect. And now this is the equilibrium position. As I mentioned in the introductions, now by calculating from the band structure, their calculations by using computer, and you can get some equilibrium position by minimizing force between two materials. So for it's the equilibrium position at these interfaces, and to understand the degree of Fermi level pinning at the interfaces, we consider artificial situation at the separation between two materials at the 6 angstroms. As a result, using the DFT calculations, we obtain some denser state like this, and for the atomic species case, specifically I chose sulfur and fluorine cases. Now you can see now the solid line and the gray regions, and gray region represents the denser state at the separation of 6 Armstrong and the third line represents equilibrium, density state at equilibrium position. At the interfaces, at the equilibrium position contact, you can see this line is close to the conduction band minimum, which show N-type contact, and also using the atom passivated cases. Now you can see this Fermi level close to the balance bond maximum, which show the P-type. And the other case using fluorine species, and this Fermi level is almost close to the balance band maximum, which is P-type even ohmic contact. And which means usually the Fermi level pinning is just close to the conduction band minimum, but using the atomic species intercalation, so we can have the N-type contact change to P-type or even ohmic contact, which means there are the Fermi level pinning reductions. To understand more clearly, I draw a range from balance band maximum to conduction band minimum of these cases. Now this is a clean case one, and now now look at that. The white bar represents the range at equilibrium position, and the gray bar represents at the 6 ohm from separation. And the more difference in between two bars and more Fermi level pinning. And here, after cascading atomic species, the difference between the white bar and gray bar is much reduced, which means the reduction of Fermi level pinning. To understand this reduction of Fermi level pinning, we calculated the pinning factor. What is pinning factors? If a pinning factor is close to 0, which means a strong Fermi level pinning, and while it's close to 1, represent weak Fermi level pinning. And what is the pinning factor? Is the slope of the graph of the Schottky barrier height as a function of material function. And previously, using the clean surfaces, the other group obtained the Fermi level pinning is point 3 here, and we calculated pinning factor. In this case, using atomic species at the interfaces, we found about the 0.5, which means our result close to 1, and this means again the Fermi level pinning, and implying the reduction of the stronger Fermi level pinning. Yeah. Also, to understand the other way, we calculated the charge density distributions at the interfaces, and using the clean surface showing the strong Fermi level pinning, and there is much fluctuation in charge distribution at the interfaces. After putting the atomic species, the fluctuation is much reduced. So you can find here also the reduction of Fermi level pinning. So now you can see how much Fermi level pinning occur, and you need to calculate the density state, and also from the range of BDN and CDM, and also pinning factor, and finally charge density distribution too. So after combining all the results, I can conclude using the atomic species as interfaces, which make the Fermi level pinning much reduced. This is the second topic of this talk. And this is the contact property of 2D, 3D gallium selenide on silicon 111 surface. This is one of type of 2D calculator, and here now you can see some the structures. And now first, this is the first report of gallium selenide monolayers, and we calculate the structures to show the which atomic orbital contribute to the which band structures. And after to understand the interface between two materials, we consider first the clean case, clean silicon case, and the other one is hydrogen phosphate one. The clean case considered as show the metallic behavior, and hydrogen phosphate one show the atomic semiconducting properties. And this is the band structures, and this is the product in the laser state. Using clean silicon surface, now you can see formula pinning is clear at the interfaces because there is some gas state involved in the band gap regions. And the other case using the hydrogen phosphate case here, now there is no gas state at the band gap regions, which means there are van der Waals contact between two materials, and also band structure of gallium selenide on the hydrogen phosphate one is almost remain the same of two isolated cases. To understand this one, we consider band alignment between two materials. Using the clean silicon surface, you can get the shock barrier heights as like the interface between the semiconductor and the metals, as you can see from the molten disulfide on the surface. And the other one is MX material on hydrogen phosphate one. Here you can see the PN junction type contact behavior in this band alignment calculation. And this is, as I mentioned, this is the remote taxi using graphene layers. Here first time I got the graphene things here. And now it's done in collaboration with the experimental group and my school, Professor Youngjun Hong's group, and also as Professor Jiwan Kim at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. So what is the remote epitaxis? Which use lattice transparency of graphenes. And now you can see interacting force. There is a substrate and the graphene layer and overlayers goes on the substrate. And here interacting force from the substrate penetrate the graphene layers, which enables the copy of crystalline rapid retration of substrate to overlayer, broad overlayer through the graphene layers, which is the remote epitaxis. This remote epitaxis is explained by ionicity of the substrate. So more ionicity on the substrate can give the more atomic layer like graphene or other two-dimensional material give some remote epitaxis. And this is one of the results for remote epitaxis. And here is in collaboration with my colleague in my universities. And here, now you can see, despite of the graphene layers, you can see the zinc oxide, the microrod well grown on the zinc oxide substrate. The substrate and the overlay the same material, so we call it the remote homo epitaxis. And we try to explain this behavior by calculating charge difference, charge distribution difference. And here you can see some the dipole the electric dipole formation at the interfaces, and which means some ionistic the behavior of the substrate to penetrate the graphene layer to make the overlayer grow very well through the remote epitaxis. And the other is published 3 years ago, and here in collaboration in my colleague at Sejong University and also the Moon Kim and Amba Zakidov in these papers. And here my colleague at Sejong University made microlarge on graphene coated aluminum surface, and also the Moon Kim and Amba Zakidov and University of Texas at Dallas and the TEM experiment to see how well grown on the graphene coated aluminum surface. And here, an experimental group made the LED display for using this material. First, this is a micro-large LED array grown on this graphene coated aluminum surface, and they put P electrode and just reverse to put the N electrode partition on the bottom side. And using this one, they developed flexible LED panels. And here now you can see the LED panel on some moving part of mini figure of Legos, some bending parts. Even it's bended so many areas, and it works very fine. The works perfectly to give some LED light. To understand this one, we did density functional calculation to get the charge density distribution, almost the same way which I done in previous work, and we found some charge density distribution through the graphene layers and enabled the remote epitaxy possible. And this is using the first graphene layers, and next one is the projection of the charge densities along the vertical regions, and all show from the charge penetration from substrate through graphene layers makes the remote epitaxy more effective and possible. And this is not already published, but I didn't change. Yeah, this is work done in collaboration with MIT guy, and they obtained the remote epitaxy on directly grown 2D material like the boron nitride and some hepatic graphene materials. Here we chose atomic structures as modeling, like the aluminum nitride, and also the middle layer is perfect boron nitride and defective boron nitride. And on the gallium arsenic substrate, we consider the perfect one and the defective one. Using these cases, we found here we similarly calculated charge density different distributions, and here you can find the charge transfer from the substrate is not observed at all, and the surface covered perfect single crystal HBM, and this charge transfer is possible and on defective boron nitride. And we did similar calculation for the case of using the perfect crystal and defective, perfect graphene and defective graphene, and both cases charge transfer is occur very clearly. Now, in the previous view, you can see the arrow with the cross, which means impossible, and just the arrow means possible charge transfer from substrate to overlay. And here we can conclude just except one case, just using perfect hydronitride, and the other cases using the defective boronitride and the defective and the perfect graphene can make remote extraction possible. And skip the summary. And now I like to acknowledge my group and my collaborators. And then I like to briefly mention the Korean People Society. How many left?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. The last year we had the 70th birthday of Korean People Societies, and actually it was founded in 1952 during Korean War. To construct at that time, the senior physicists get together to consider if the Korean War would end soon. So they consider the reconstruction of Korea. So now to do that, they believe the physics is very important. So they gather to establish a Korean People Society. After that, they contribute to so many things to the reconstruction of Korea to make the Han River miracle possible. And as I mentioned, last year we had a celebration meeting for 70th birthday of KPS in Busan, where the first the KPS was found. And the number of Korean members rapidly grows from the 34 in 1592, the foundation of KPS, and to now over 15,000 in 2020. And as of last December in 2022, the total number is more than 16,000. And mostly come from the universities. And now student number is quite big because after graduation they go to companies. So usually company doesn't allow go to some academic conference or meeting. So it's not their students. Most of them got the PhD or master degree. And our Korean People Society consists of 12 regions, including all kinds of disciplines like the particle, nuclear, and astrophysics, and also the overall the condensed matter physics field like the condensed matter physics division and applied physics division, semiconductor division, and so on, including 12. And also we have 7 regional branches and 1 special branches like the Jeju. I think some people have been to Jeju Island, a very beautiful island, and there is only 2 or 3 departments, physics departments in that island, so very small. So we just give some the special regional branches to Jeju Island. And we published 4 journals, and 2 SCI journals, and 1 is Scopes journals. And this one is Physics and High Technology from the magazine for advertisement or some giving a report, something like that. And the Korean People Society invites the host to annual spring fall meetings every year. 2 big meetings every year. Now average rate of participants is about 2,000, and the paper presentation is about 1,200. And last year, for 70th birthday, is about 2,600, and this spring meeting also I think 2,400 participants came to these meetings. And we have, we offer plenary talk and the pioneer symposium is operated by, by using the English, inviting some joint session like Japan, Korea, China, Korea, and so on. And now, so far there is no Uzbekistan and Korea sessions. I try to find contribute to our meetings. Oh, sorry, it's the next page. And this is the international conference organized by KPS itself. These two conferences have quite long histories. And this is the International Symposium of Physics of Semiconductor and Applications. This is organized by KPS and it's operated by semiconductor divisions, semiconductor physics divisions. And the other one is the International Conference on Advanced Material and Devices. And it's also organized by KPS. And the recent one is already last more than 10 years, and it's a quantum material symposium organized by the KPS, the condensed matter field divisions. And I tried to find some connection between Uzbekistan and Korea. And sorry. Yes, there is some, the list of arrangements. And I finally found a few. I got the abstract of the doctor Tutamov, is here. I heard it comes to this seminar, but he didn't come to here. Okay. Anyway, so now the application is the Gyeongbuk National University, located in South Korea, and then he presented several papers at KPS annual meetings, and also I found other people also from Gyeongbuk National University, and here me, Andrew, and Kevutaniel Vladimir, also from Uzbekistan. Also, I found another one is Yakishev Lukbek, and he's a professor.
My student.
Oh, really? Now he became professor at Ina University in South Korea. And then finally, I found Amal Zakidov's contribution at the ISPSA 2018. And it's all I found through the internet and for a couple of days after drinking vodka. Okay. And now I hope there is some joint session at the annual meeting or in the Korean, the KPS, the sponsors international meetings. Also, this is the list of the hosting the international conference organized by some committees of in the world, and we host many things. And this year is more including the system for semiconductor thing, and this is the SCAS is strongly correlated electron systems. ICBP is even including biological physics, and we host many international conferences. And also we dedicated to some physics education to make the students know physics very well. And now we host the International Physics Olympiad in 2004, and we'll host again in 2020, and we ranked first many times. And also to encourage and guide teenager and undergraduate students explore and study physics, we provided the physics certificate programs, and we put several degree of certificate to the participants. And this is also we provide some physics festival of high school students, and we combine all of those things to make the physics league from this year, since 2023. After I became president, we just combined the physics certificate program with the domestic physics Olympiad and the physics festival to organize the consistently and systematically. And also we made the many MOUs with other countries. And now you can see 2023. This afternoon, maybe after this seminar, I'll make the MOU with the Council of Physicists of Uzbekistan. I'll sign by myself and by Hardik Blum. And thank you for listening my talk, and welcome to Korean annual meeting, and also KTS and KTS hosted the international conferences.
Thank you very much for very impressive talks.
Thank you.
So, and now we start questions and answers. And probably we will start from first part of your talk, concern that physics.
Okay.
Okay. Please.
Have you studied
from our department.
Thank you. Have you studied with the property of materials under extreme conditions, like the X-ray, gamma ray, high temperature, high pressure, and so on?
Well, now the DF calculation, as you know, is done at 0 temperatures, and we can explain some of the property at extreme conditions. And by, for example, for some the extreme pressure cases, we can change the lattice constant, and so we can predict some the physical properties at the cases. And for some temperature cases, now it's hard to handle only using DFT calculations. And now I'm combining some the molecular dynamic simulations by putting some and some temperatures. And so by combining DFT calculations done at 0 temperature and some and the simulation results, we can predict some physical material property at some high temperatures and so on. So we can do many things at extreme conditions. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
One more.
Just a minute. Just a moment. Okay. Who else? Please take.
Thank you for a very nice talk. Could you please explain what's the role of graphene remote epitaxy? Gallium nitride and zinc oxide grows very well itself. What's the role of graphene between substrate and...
Okay. Now, without graphene layers, I forgot to mention, without graphene layers, now you can, it's very hard to detach a layer from the substrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with graphene, now you can have a van der Waals interaction between substrate and graphene and overlayers. Now you can easily detach it for applications. And you can use substrate many times. Sometimes substrate is so expensive. So now you can use, that's the advantage of using graphene layers. And that's good question.
Okay. Please.
Thank you very much for your interesting talk. I'd like to ask, could you please inform about recent benchmark or record for large area grown graphene, monolayer graphene? What is the largest size nowadays, and what method do you use?
Yeah, depending on the apparatus. And previously, they tried to 30-inch of graphene monolayers. And now, I think if you can make a big chamber and you can make as large as possible. But now I remember the largest one is 30 inch of graphene.
CVD grown.
Yeah, CVD grown. Yeah, right. Thanks to them for giving the question. Yeah, thank you.
Please.
The second part, maybe.
Loudly, please.
Thank you for your talk. The question about the second part, about the charge distribution on value rate. There are two cases, without defects and with defects. And as already, when the case without defects, there are no any charge transfer, as I have understood. And when we have some defects, it will be some current in this case. And what will be the amount of this current, or the value of current. And indeed, the situation is the equilibrium situation. And if we have any low or high injection in the inner layer, how can we consider the situation? Do we need some quasi-Fermi levels, and can we calculate this situation for non-equilibrium case?
I'm sorry if I understand the question clearly, and you are questioning how much the transfer occur to the perfect or some defective region. Is that right?
Effective current.
Oh yeah, but I don't remember exactly. Here I just put yeah. Let me go to the region. Yeah. But now. Here, let me see how to read that. I think that the transfer is just the range is 10 to minus 4 is not that big, and you have a small amount of charge. And I think even if that's small, they can give some effect on the growth of overlayers, and in our from our understanding. Yeah, maybe. You can download in my paper, so if you can, I can send my paper to you, and maybe we can discuss a little more about this video.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I would like to continue this question. Can you shortly explain the process, doping of the graphene is able to change the color and can be appropriate. After doping.
After doping. Yeah. You know, graphene doesn't have gap. Yeah, the ideal graphene doesn't have gap. So you mean with doping and doping including many things. Just put the additional atom in graphene or some replace the carbon with other atoms, things like that. I think maybe long time ago, nowadays I focus on other type of 2D material, but long time ago I try to put some doping elements into the graphene directly. But I remember some cases open the gap, some cases doesn't. But sorry, I couldn't remember the exact result at this moment.
Okay, thank you. Probably we may stop, huh?
Yes, yes.
But I have one stupid question. How reliable the calculations? Because variational calculations are always the problematic. That depend on variational functional, etc. How many parameters, and you may stay in some local minima which don't correspond to true minima. And only way is to compare with experimental data.
Yeah, as you said, yeah, you know, this kind of calculation sometimes goes to local minima, not going to global minimum. But frankly speaking, sometimes, yeah, my calculation goes to not long, maybe some, how can I say, some metastable state. But nevertheless, I think overall the explanation, yeah, I think almost, yeah, always correct, I guess. And also we repeat, yeah, many arrangements for using this kind of calculations. And now you just let me show you. Yeah. Maybe, yeah, here maybe you try to calculate this one. This is quite simple surface structures. And in this case, you just using the calculation to obtain minimum structures and minimize structures. So that here, it's all connected by bone. Yeah, right? So now in this case, it's very clear, but you want to put some atom on the surface. And now specifically that atom can go anywhere. But you try to put many configurations and compare each other to find the lowest one among calculations.
So there is one more question.
Sorry.
Zoom.
Elvira.
There is also invitations via Zoom.
Oh, it's connected by Zoom? Okay.
What was the shape of hexagonal pillars? For example, single oxide or other, or
I think, as I mentioned, they are, I think the 3 2 forms from apart because they are materials contact between two materials. Yeah, substrate and graphene and overlayer. So all the gap, the size is about 3 2 forms.
No, but that is between. She is asking the thing oxide itself. The little laser. It's big. It's big. Elvira, it is big.
Будете участвовать в подписании.
This one or?
Хорошо?
This one? This one?
No, look, before.
Oh, before.
We showed micro lasers that we created with, yeah, this.
Oh, this.
This, right? You're asking about this blue micro lasers, the size, right? You know the size?
Oh, the size
Yeah.
of that
Big.
microlab.
Of course.
Oh, sorry, I didn't understand your question. I don't know.
I remember.
Yeah, you are participating
Yeah,
in
we
this
did.
work.
I'm co-author of the paper.
Yeah. How much is it?
Elvira, it is microscopic size, maybe 100 microns. They are big. They are micro lasers, whiskers.
Эльвира, are you satisfied with? Мы вас не слышим, Эльвира.
Another question, what kind of...
No. Эльвира.
Эльвира, вы довольны ответом?
Стоп. Вопрос. Вы довольны ответом?
Yes, it is.
Ну все, на этом все.
Я вам эти образцы пришлю, они очень красивые. Светятся голубым цветом. У меня они есть.
Да. Окей.
Давайте, я хочу прокомментировать.
Да.
3 минуты.
Just a moment. We had also second part of talk. Will somebody would like to ask question about second part of talk? About KPS? Do you have? That's okay. No questions. Okay, no questions. And Professor Zahidov has some comments with his slides to that presentation.
Maybe if they will be able to show.
I
I want to speak about graphite.
Graphite?
About our future work.
I don't have to.
No, that's already here.
Maybe you have.
I need some information. I don't have to mention. Maybe you can, yeah.
We already finished your talk.
Okay, sure.
Давайте похлопаем за его
So now a comment by Anwar.
Во-первых, я хочу со всеми поздороваться, поприветствовать. Здесь много моих старых друзей, с которыми я давно не виделся. Вот, я хочу сказать, мы с Сукlyuном довольно давно работаем. Вообще в том университете UTD, где я работаю, у нас есть целая корейская комьюнити. Но вот у нас с ним будет будущий проект. Один заканчивается. И в будущем проекте, сейчас вот я покажу новую структуру. Или мне придется рисовать на доске, я могу с большим удовольствием нарисовать. Вот то, что он рассказывал, это графин. Графин — это уникальный материал, вы знаете, однослойная структура гексагонов, шестиугольных графитовых структур. SP2, симметрия. Но, как вы знаете, электронная, вот давайте сделаем так. Графин, energy, вот сюда нажмите. Не. Давайте... Графин, вот сюда, графайный продакшн, вот это, да. Вот. Ну вот. Значит, у нас в институте мы создали новый квантовый материал. Он называется графайн. Не графин, а графайн. Чем он отличается от графина? Сейчас я покажу структуру.
Примерно как стакан.
Нет, более интересно. Графайн — это такое глупое, кажется, название, но она включает полииновую группу. Это тройные связи. Давайте следующий слайд. Как показать?
Просто по экрану.
Вот. Вот так. Давайте назад. Ну не идет.
Пальцем.
Давайте, ребята, делайте.
Ну все, вот. Да. Ты знаешь, эту головную боль за большие деньги купили.
Мне нужен второй слайд. Второй слайд. Вот. Вот смотрите, в отличие от графина, в котором только вот такие существуют подряд, что мы делаем? Нет, уже давай назад. Вот. Берем такую молекулу. Что такое? Я же не трогаю. Вы не трогайте.
Указки используются.
Смотрите. И вот получается, есть структуры, как в графине. Назад. Все, тогда я не прикасаюсь. Видите, тройные связи. Вот тут тройные связи торчат. И вот они соединяют. И получается вот такой один пустой мотив. К чему это приводит? В электронной структуре возникает маленькая щель. Вы знаете, да? Графин — это полуметалл. У него вот такой спектр. Называется дираковский спектр. Электроны ведут себя как фотоны. Двигаются с колоссальными скоростями.
Ну, колоссальная это скорость звука.
Нет, скорость света. 5 раз меньше скорости света.
Ну, правильно, это скорость.
Скорость света 300 тысяч километров разделится на 5. 60.
Это релятивистские частицы, и они должны уравнением Дирака.
Они описываются уравнением Дирака. Поэтому за графин получили Нобелевскую премию. К сожалению, все эти красоты не будут работать в электронике. В электронике нам нужен полупроводник, такой как галлий-арсенид, с хорошей подвижностью, и из него можно сделать новые транзисторы, фотоэлементы, что хотите. Вот из этого материала мы надеемся, он будет лучше, чем галлий-арсенид, он двумерный, Но это мечты. Этот материал мой коллега Рэй Богман, вот он тут, предсказал в 1987 году. Он приезжал сюда, в Ташкент, именно в 1987 году. Тогда я начал с ними работать, потом уехал. Этот материал предсказан был, много людей пытались его синтезировать, но только недавно Валентин Родионов химическим методом синтезировал порошок. Теперь, мы даже до конца не знаем электронную структуру. А кто нам ее посчитает? Вот, Хонг. Хонг силен тем, что у него группа теоретиков, которые могут, используя суперкомпьютеры, рассчитать электронные зоны, щели во всех направлениях в любом двумерном материале. Особенно однокомпонентном, как только атомы углерода. Если там, как в перовските, цезий, свинец, 3 йода, компьютерной мощи не хватает. Он пользуется сверхкомпьютерами. У нас есть сверхкомпьютеры в Техасе. Техас это как отдельное государство. У нас огромные возможности по науке. Мощные университеты. Там, где я работаю, компания Texas Instruments, они создали первые интегральные схемы в мире. И Чак Килдер получил Нобелевскую премию вместе с Джоресом Алфером. И вот я, научившись на семинарах моего учителя Виталия Гинзбурга, где я, собственно, физику и выучил, начав здесь учить в свое время, в конце семинара мы хотим сделать челлендж. Вот есть толковые ребята, наверняка в зале, я вижу полицию. Вот вам челлендж. Возьмите вот эту структуру и попытайтесь методами регулярной теории, которой вы занимаетесь на кафедре у профессора Мусаханова, то есть написав некий модельный гамильтониан, конечно, можно решить. Знаете модель SSH, Суш-Рифер-Хиггинс? Там есть солитоны, полироны. Все это где-то здесь скрыто, в этом новом полупроводнике. Потому что вот такие связи есть в поле ацетиления. Там были солитоны, кинки, полироны. Я этим занимался в те годы, когда был теоретиком в начале. Там, в Москве и здесь. Сейчас я превратился в материал сайентиста. Мы эти материалы выращиваем, и мы делаем приборы. И Хонг теперь помогать будет мне, как теоретик, посчитать эту структуру. Пока никто нормально не посчитал. Мы говорим 0,5, я сам в это не верю. Small band gap. Я думаю, что есть люди, которые думают, что там 2 электронвольта. Короче, я долго не буду распинаться, вот в этом был мой коммент. Он очень хороший расчетчик. Его расчеты имеют большую вероятность совпадения. Это не вариационные методы.
Это вариационные.
Нет, это все атомы конкретно известных положений. DFT. Density Functional Theory. Коновская. Ну, может быть, она вариационная, но все-таки она достаточно точная.
Это вопрос веры.
Да.
Да. Это
вопрос.
Вот человек, который вариационным счетом занимается.
Я в них верю, потому что если структура известна.
Можете верить, если вариационную функцию подобрали правильно.
Хорошо. Да. Ну вот вам новая структура, ее пока никто не исследовал. Это новая статья. Притом, как видите, я не соавтор. Соавтор мой сын Данте Закидов, потому что он сделал конкретную работу, он в Стэнфордском университете с помощью Рамана показал наличие этих тройных связей в том порошке, который сделал этот Родионов.
Здесь не внедряются и другие элементы?
Так. Это
другие элементы.
Никаких элементов нет, только карбон, все. Только карбон. Бром, это тут нарисовано на картинке. В хорошей структуре брома не должно быть. Это остаточное. Вот вопрос у него.
Нет, все. Моменту не может быть вопроса. Момент, дальше.
Вот мы подали проект, называется по квантовым приборам, и мы хотим сделать на основе графина спинтройку, фотодетекторы, фототранзисторы, LED и фотовольтаику.
Так.
Уже делаем.
Все, замечательно.
Приезжайте ко мне в лабораторию, вот кто тут есть, молодой человек, который знает язык. Если мы эти бабки получим, мы вот вам туда возьмем.
Надо знать язык английский и физику.
Да.
Ну, я надеюсь, физику вы научились, а английский они знают уже?
Да, да. Все, спасибо большое. Так, ну что, сейчас у нас есть очень интересная и полезная процедура подписания договора между обществом физиков Узбекистана и обществом физиков Кореи. Пожалуйста, пожалуйста, вы тоже здесь поприсутствуете. Карин, директор института полупроводников, который
Челлендж сделаю.
Келли, ребята,
Стрелять будут? Ну что, не можем подписывать?
Нет, вы объявить должны, наверное.
Надо. Значит, я очень рад, что здесь была большая такая аудитория. Я хочу поблагодарить всех, кто здесь был. И мы хотим подписать сейчас меморандум взаимопонимания между физическим обществом Кореи и Советом физиков Узбекистана. Мы думаем, что на основе этого меморандума мы будем развивать наши взаимоотношения с обмениваться учеными и участвовать в различных совместных работах. Şuna bölgelerde internasyonel yetmoşmaydı şu bu bizde mamlasın o vakıtta şu binanın kuruluşta katlaşkanlar 63 yılda student oldu. Şu juda zor da bu auditoriya kompleksini işte. Bana bugün yurtta şunaka ulu adamlar var. Bana yurtta akademik soruları oturuşlar. Bana yurtta akademik avlay. Профессор Ахмедов сидит, профессор Тосумбеков. Очень много таких замечательных людей здесь. Я всем им очень благодарен за то, что принимают они участие. Директор физического института профессор Алинов сидит. В этом зале сегодня были представители практически всех научных институтов Академии наук, многих университетов. We had today here represented almost all physical institutions of the Academy of Sciences. We have here the fellows of the Academy of Science of Uzbekistan, very famous people are present here. And I'm really happy that together we will sign this memorandum of understanding. I'm quite sure that this document will allow us to develop more deep relations between physicists of our countries, especially among young people who have, I believe, so bright future, not only for our country, but also for our country, and we will do something important in our life. Thank you. This is your, and that's mine. And I also have very... Of course, of course. Something like that?
Yeah, like this, yeah.
Yes.
Good. You may pour this one too.
Yes. We can.
This way. Thank you.
Also, I have very nice duty, in fact. Dostlar, bugun bitta narsani yana albatta nishonlashimiz kerak. Gap shundaki, shu professor Anvar Zohidov 70 ga kiribdilar. Bu fiziklar O'zbekiston Fiziklar Kengashi nomidan biz shu insonni kattakon olimni shu yillari bilan qutlab, sog' salomatlik, baxt, yana kattakon yutuqlarni tilamoqchimiz. Omon bo'ling. Yana albatta bu o'zbekchilik. Mana bo'tga chiqib mexanik deb bilinglar. Albatta. This is in fact, you know, our custom. For most respected people, we give this trophy on behalf of the Council of Physicists. He likes to help you to read this room. In fact, you know that we have one of the oldest members of the unfortunately was Canadian, but we like to show you this. I'd like to introduce to you. I hope that we will work together.
Очень рад, что вы сохраняете активность, вы продолжаете участвовать во всем.
Look at the cat.
Лучше без диких или без маленький.
Артур Гафырович, сюда смотрите.
Юрий.
О, Равкамбек здесь. Он
Say something to take a picture.
Oh,
говорится, раз, два, три. Чиз, вон туда. Улыбаемся.